support and presence. Thank you, everyone. Welcome back to technical session. We are moving to the conclusion of day 1 of our international conference. And right now we are moving to technical session 3, in which we have papers across the borders, be it India or Uzbekistan and Central Asia. So we welcome Dr. Yogesh Singh Mohan. If you can hear us, we welcome you, sir, for joining us and accepting the invitation to be a session chair. So to introduce Dr. Yogesh, thank you so much. Dr. Yogesh Singh Mohan is Assistant Professor of English at DAV College Sarora, Yamunanagar in Haryana, a province in India. His PhD has been quite appreciated one, which is Layers of Meaning in Selected Novels of Paulo Coelho. He has more than 15 years of experience in higher education. He's author of 2 books, and the 3rd book is almost ready to be published with the name of Transform Yourself. He has been an organizing secretary of around 10 national and international seminars and conferences. He has 25 research papers to his credit and 23 papers presented in national and international workshops, seminars, and conferences. He has also been part of various accreditation audits and National Service Scheme and NCC and other things at his college where he works. And he's also the chief editor of the annual magazine of college. Beyond that, he's someone who's into literature, who's into history, who's into philosophy, and is a very nice friend of mine. I welcome Dr. Yogesh and appreciate your presence and the acceptance that you gave us to join us as a session chair for this technical session number 3 on day 1. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. Bhatt.
So everyone, how we are going to move on now as we are moving towards our conference's day 1. We have got 2 presenters who are already there with us, Dr. Dolly and Dr. Rita Mishra. Thank you so much for joining on time. It will be really helpful now. So how we are going to move, if you have got any slides to be presented, you just need to mention it so that Dr. Manish can give you the co-host rights and you can share the slides. Now, already we have got the soft copies of your papers with us, which are in the record. So there's no need to read the paper. We feel it would be rather a presentation. And we wish that we go from 6 to 8 minutes time cycle so that we have some time left for remarks by the session chair, be it after your presentation or at the end. We'll also request Ali Sheji to give his remarks, as he's also a core member of our conference through a very reputed institution in Uzbekistan. And we have 2 presenters right now. The moment we get 3 and 4 and more, so we'll give time to them. And at the end of the session, Dr. Yogesh will also give his observations. So 6 to 8 minutes is average time that we will be really happy with. The session will be led by Dr. Yogesh as session chair, and he'll be inviting the presenters and the authors. Dr. Yogesh, over to you. You have the list of presenters with you, and we can go ahead. For now, we are going to start with Dr. Dolly and then Dr. Rita Mishra. Thank you, sir.
Sure. To begin with, I would like to thank the organizers for organizing such a wonderful conference. And Central Asia, Literary Cultural Scenario, and Hindi. So interestingly, we have some participants from India, and some of them are from different parts of the world. There are people from Uzbekistan. Well, the list that I was provided with, I think we have approximately 13 participants. And
Yes, sir.
out of them, as Dr. Praveen has just informed me, that 2 of the participants are present right now. So before we start, are we going to wait for some other participants, or should we start it?
We will start. We'll start now, and we'll see who is present so that we don't delay for others.
All right. So I would invite Dr. Dolly to begin with. And the paper is titled Bollywood Beyond Borders, Explorations of Hindi Cinema's Impact on Central Asian Society.
Thank you, professors. Thank you, Dias, who has given me a chance to present my paper in international conference. I would like to present my slides so I can go by myself here for sharing. Just a second. Oh, So I think it is a restrictions. Only host can present the slide, right?
We'll just do it. Manish ji, we can help Dr. Dolly ji to be co-host and Dr. Rita Mishra.
Yeah,
Praveen
please.
now you are the host, so you can make
Okay.
anybody host.
Dolly ji, your co-host now.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
We can see your screen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Myself, Dolly Hirani, and currently I'm working as a project associate in Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, Ministry of Culture, New Delhi. I completed my PhD from Banaras Hindu University, Department of Sociology, and my research paper is Bollywood Beyond Borders Exploration of Hindi Cinema's Impact on Central Asian Society. I'm going to be start this paper through two, three parts of that. There is introduction, research questions, thematic analysis, and the last I will give you the further research and the discussion on this paper. So here we go. Hindi cinema, popularly known as Bollywood, has long held a special place in the cultural imagination of Central Asia. From the mid 20th century during the Soviet era to the contemporary digital era, and Bollywood has captivated audience across the Central Asia. Films such as Avara, 1951, the most popular by the Raj Kapoor and the Nargis ji. Shri 420 again with the same popular actors and actresses Raj Kapoor ji and Nargis ji, Shri 420. And the later disco dancers of 1982 of Mithun Chakravarti. And become household names, often more popular than Western productions because they resonated with shared values of family, community, and justice. During the Cold War, when access to Bollywood was restricted, Indian film offered Central Asian societies a vision of modernity, infused with emotional depth, music, and morality, creating a cultural bridge between South Asia and Central Asia. Even today, the presence of Bollywood songs in weddings, Shah Rukh Khan's enduring standout, and the popularity of the Hindi serials on satellite channels reveal the Bollywood continues to shape culture, taste, and social practices in the region. We often see the reels of the Central Asia that's come from South. Shah Rukh Khan dances on the mehndi laga ke rakhna, doli saja ke rakhna, like in their weddings. They are really nostalgic for us of my era, and they are again they using the reel and they are enjoying the songs a lot. And let's go towards the what is the research problems and the significance which I took for this paper. And there are the gap, limited focus on the Bollywood's role in Central Asia because right now the movies which are production and directed all centric like in Indian kind of cinemas only. They are not going to be attending this Central Asian theme and to give them any kind of interest. So, and we are talking about this research problems. Despite this long-standing cultural exchange, the impact of Hindi cinema in Central Asia has received a limited systematic scholarly attentions. Much of the existing research focus either on India's soft power in the broader Soviet Union or Bollywood's global popularity in general. There is a need to critically analyze how Hindi cinemas have influenced Central Asian societies, not only as an entertainment but also as a cultural, political, and the social forces. The significance of this inquiry, this my paper lies in uncovering how Bollywood contributed to Indian identity formation, cultural imagination, and even diplomacy in Central Asia. It also highlights cinema's role in negotiating tradition and modernity, collective memory, and generational aspirations. For both film studies and the international relationships, such a study offers fresh insight into how the culture flows reshape societies across the border. So for this, I choose the approach of this paper is a thematic analysis, and rather than a purely historical or chronic one. While the historical tragedies of Bollywood in Central Asia is important, this type of thematic analysis allows of deeper exploration of how cinema interacts with the multiple dimensions of the life. And there is my research questions, which I have been I have to discuss how does Hindi cinema shape culture, identity, and imagination. How are music, dance, aesthetic localized, and how the Bollywood influence romance, marriage, gender roles, especially, and what is the roles in Indian soft power. And how does the Bollywood compete with Turkish, Korean, and Western media? Because Turkish serial like Magnificent Centuries of Ottoman Empire, it's going to be so influenced in Indian cinema as well, and the Korean of the BTS and all they are very much popular right now. And how does the nostalgic sustain this international bond? And here we go with the thematic my framework. I have been divided this paper into the six interrelated themes. They are cultural identity and imagination. It is let me first I'm just going to be introduce this theme, which next slide is has been some work. Second is music, dance, and aesthetic, and gender, social norms, political and soft power dimensions, contemporary media landscape, memory, and nostalgics. It is a I just frame this paper for this thematic analysis because it is very understanding to know each and every theme in umbrella terms of this um, topic, or to be go with a very boring way ki what are the each and things of analysis and all. The paper has to be subjective and emotional. That why the thematic analysis give us a very enriched perspective to understand each and every discourses of the paper. My first theme, culture, identity, and imagination, has here. It is a very most significant ways in Hindi cinemas has impacted Central Asia and through the construction of cultural identity and everyday imagination. And cinemas, as Benedict Anderson, Irish and political and scientist and historian, argues in the context of nationalism, provides shares imagine community, which is a very most important um, we can frame to understand the paper. In a similar vein, Bollywood, with its larger than life narratives, melodrama, and music, has offered Central Asian audiences a cultural space in which to imagine themselves, their relationships, and their aspirations. Unlike Western cinema, which often foregrounded individualism or Soviet socialist, realism, which emphasized collective labor and political ideology, this film presented a distinctive balance of personal emotions and communal values. This combination resonated deeply with Central Asian societies navigating questions of tradition, modernity, and identity. The next theme is music, dance, and aesthetics. This appeal of Hindi cinema has historically extended far beyond narrative storytelling, with music and dance functioning as integral components of its culture influence. When we see every movies of Shah Rukh Khan and the most prominent actors like Amitabh Bachchan and all, we will find out definitely the songs of dancing and the melodrama and the situation at last, the happy ending happens in the movie. Like I have told you, the Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, where Raj and Shimran was in the dialect with their family orientations and values, and last his father has given a dialogue Ja Simran Ja type, and finally he got his love in the last. And this give the popular aesthetics with the music, dance, and songs. So especially the region enduring attachment to Hindi film songs and dances demonstrate the depth of Bollywood's culture penetrations, making it transitional aesthetic from the bridges South and Central Asian traditions, which we have more than common here. Uh, the next theme is gender and social norms, which I have been concluded because my work is on gender performativity. So it is very natural to be go with the gender in each and every paper of mine. So when we are talking about the Asian Central societies, so there is very much understanding to be work on the gender nuances, because when we always forget to understand what is the construction, their gender role, their gender fluidity, on that they started to their their taste of in any kind of movies and all. So in this theme, I divided as some women is the virtues, aspirations, and man with the duty and romance. And we've seen in each of movies of before cinematic era, when we see the certain roles has been divided to the women and the men, and we can say the actor and the actresses. So they try to relate themselves the movies, how the women has to be go with their roles, how the men has to be work on their roles. It's a duty. The man only can be start the romance, only the Shahrukh Khan have to be came to chase her Simran for his her father. So this type of frame of the cinema, this can gave them a very special feelings and connections with all. And the representation of gender in Hindi cinema has long been defining feature of its cultural resonances, and both within India and abroad. In the context of Central Asia, Bollywood portrays of men and women narrative of romance and marriage, and its negotiation between traditional and modernity have significantly influenced local perceptions of gender role. At the same time, these cinematic constructions have produced tensions as audience interpreted and adapted Bollywood ideas within their own socio-cultural frameworks. Next, I think I have time, sir. I can go with the themes properly.
Yeah, ma'am, no problem. Please go
Thank you,
ahead.
thank you, thank you. The my fourth theme is political and soft power, which is very natural for the Asian societies. Cinemas has long functioned as more than entertainment. It is also a political and diplomatic instrument. In the case of Hindi cinema, it representations into Central Asian highlights the way in which culture flow intersects the statecraft and international relationships. And Bollywood consciously and unconsciously has served as a tool of India's cultural diplomacy, creating soft power linkage with Central Asia society across both the Soviet and post-Soviet period. By examining the role of Hindi films as agent of soft power, as well as the state policies that encouraged or restricted their circulation, one can appreciate how cinema has shaped Indo-Central Asian culture and political relationships. And here is my fifth theme: contemporary media landscapes. The media landscapes of Central Asia has undergone a radical transformation in the last 2 decades with the digital platform. When we are seeing it after the COVID and the AI has been introduced, the satellite television and mobile connectivity reshaping the cultural consumptions pattern. Bollywood once mediated primarily through state-controlled channels during the Soviet era, now circulated widely across online platforms such as YouTube, Netflix, regional over the top OTT services. While this technological shift has facilitated the greater accessibility of the Hindi cinema, it has also exposed Central Asian audience to a wider array of global cultural products. As a result, Bollywood operates today within a competitive media ecology, negotiating its place alongside Turkish serials, the Korean wave, and Hollywood productions. The youth perspectives, both aspirational and nostalgic, further complicates the contemporary role of Hindi cinema in the Asian Central Asia. My next theme is memory and nostalgia, which I have been talked about before it. How the people connect themselves with this movies, which they have, past understanding their past relation. And this movies like classical Avara, Mother India, they have a cultural milestones. The dialogues are there. In fact, the people who are non Hindi speakers, they learn these dialogues and they speaks. I saw on the reels and all, and these nostalgics brought bridges generations and Bollywood, which is a very emotional archive to understand this movies, the connection of with the Central Asia. And at last, I have a thematical synthesis as well, because when we are working on this kind of approaches, we have to get samudra manthan, which give us some broad theme to understand. So here we go with the Bollywood is a cultural bridge, right? When we are talking about the Shah Rukh's movies, Veer Zara, you will see the how the culture begins with the India and Pakistan, jaisa desh hai tera वैसा भेस है मेरा type, dharti sunehri. The same, we have a land which have the same emotions with the different societies, communities. The South, where his next is soft power instruments they used. Mirror of modernity. Of course, the Central Asias are very much typical. They are very much traditional, and they are very much forced into their values. Either when we are talking about the Indian scenarios, we are much flexible with them. And of course, emotional, when talking about emotional archives, it's very connected with the generations as well. The generations were far our grand parents, and right now the generations, they have been heard about some movies and all dialogues within their in mind. The same has the Central Asian perspectives. And when talking about the continues with it. And finally, I have implications and further research in it. Basically, the finding of the studies have broader implications for scholarships in cultural studies, media anthropology, and international relations. From cultural studies perspective, Bollywood's receptions in Central Asia highlights the importance of transnational cultural flow and their ability to create share emotional and symbolic universe across diverse societies. In media study, this case underscores the adaptability of cinema across time, from its circulations in a Soviet controlled network to today's digital streaming platform. For international relations, Bollywood exemplify how cultural diplomacy and the soft power can strengthen bilateral ties and create enduring goodwill, functioning as a subtle yet influential component of foreign policy. And I have further research as well, for suggestion for the further research. I worked on this thematic overview, but the upcoming generation and upcoming scholars can go with the ethnographical research and the comparative approach to understand the Bollywood, each and every movie's impact on the social in South Asia, and their gender construction, their role, their traditional, their modernity for facts. And here is the conclusion. And I think my paper has completed. Is it? I have again a time.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll hand it over to Dr. Yogesh now.
Well, thanks, Dr. Doli Hirani, for this comprehensive presentation. Well, I've been just glancing through the list of presentations in the first and second session, and I'm really impressed with the scope, with the width of ideas that have been discussed today. And this being the third session, we still have some very amazing presentations to go. Next presentation we have, as I've been told, is from Dr. Rita Mishra, Assistant Professor, Department of English, PG College, Mirzapur. And the title of her paper is The Influence of Panchtantra in Shaping the Literary Tradition of Central Asia. So we have had a long tradition of cultural import and export. There have been an unending chain of sequences that relate us with, with India, with Central Asia, and vice versa. So let's see what we have in store. I invite now Dr. Ritu Mishra for the presentation.
Excuse me, sir. Just want to have your attention on.
Yes, Vipulji?
This is Vipul. I think I'm in a wrong meeting room or what? I think I had first number, so just wanted to know that it.
Just a
I
moment,
there
because
are no
we
issues.
started. No problem. After Rita Mishra, you can present, because we just started with who were available right in the beginning. Maybe
No,
we
I've
made
been
a
here since the start, sir.
fine. We thought that we made a call and we just
Okay.
got kind of a confirmation. No problem.
I've
You'll
been
be
waiting. No
presenting
issues,
just
sir.
after
No
Dr.
issues.
Rita.
No
Thank you so much for
Thank
understanding.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Actually, I wanted to share my paper, and today, sir, there is this SSC exam over here, and we have a very poor network connection. Since morning, I've tried to connect so many times, and
Mhm.
I think if it takes time, then I would like to just read out
You wish to share your
from
screen?
my paper itself.
I mean, if you wish to
Just
share your
continue, sir.
screen, or
Without the
you can
PPT, I
continue,
think
ma'am.
I have to
You
continue,
can
sir.
continue. Yeah,
Yes,
please.
without the PPT, no?
Yeah, no problem at all.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Uh, Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to present my paper, and it has been a learning experience for me to investigate this new area of research. This topic itself is very interesting, and I found it mythological and historical connection. It was also a very new conception to me. The title of my paper is The Influence of Panchatantra in Shaping the Literary Tradition of Central Asia. The countries of Central Asia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Turkmenistan, since centuries have been the threshold and route of integrating language, culture, economic, and political ties with India. Shahbaz Amil explains the importance of the Silk Road in promoting all aspects of cross cultural ties like trade, technologies, and religious beliefs. Indian ideas, beliefs, and philosophies spread throughout Central Asia as new cultural components were brought to the Indian subcontinent by Central Asian tribes like the Huns and the later Mongols. Archaeological excavations at Khotan and Kucha have proved that numerous languages of Central Asia are greatly influenced by Sanskrit and Prakrit, the ancient classical languages of India. Innumerable Buddhist works were also translated into Central Asian languages, which resulted in the growth of Buddhist monasteries and hubs. Several popular Indian masterpieces, such as Panchatantra and the Hitopadesha, influenced the writers of Central Asia. And as we all know, the Panchatantra is one of the most ancient and oldest collection of fables written in Sanskrit, credited to Vishnu Sharma around the 3rd century BC. It ranks among the most translated non-religious texts in history, crossing cultural and linguistic barriers as it moved from India to Persia, Arabia, and later to Central Asia and Europe. Scholars have also pointed out the stories not only exhibit moral lessons but also depict the complex rules of politics and governance known as the Niti Shastras. It is in this sense that Panchatantra is a dominant cultural text, whether we look at it as a consequence of movement of text or the people who facilitated the movements or through the impact of religion. Central Asia, positioned as a key transition point for cultures along the Silk Road, became an important corridor for sharing these tales. The Panchatantra provided not just entertainment, but it served as a teaching tool, embedding lessons on ethics, politics, philosophy into the local tradition. There were many translations, adaptations, and the blending of cultures that shaped narrative techniques, moral concepts, and teaching practices in the Central Asian region. Now, before we discuss about the other aspect, what are the historical transmission of Panchatantra to Central Asia? The Panchatantra made its way to Central Asia through several stages of translation and adaptation. The original Sanskrit text of Panchatantra was turned into Middle Persian, Pahlavi, in the 6th century under the title Kalila va Dimna by Burzo, a physician in the court of Sasanian ruler Khosrow I Anushirvan. This Middle Persian version was later translated into Arabic by Ibn al-Makhafa in the 8th century, and it became one of the most praised prose works in Arabic literature. Kalila wa Dimna, the most popular, famous work, is named after the two jackals, the Karataka and Damanaka, that appear in the first story. The 8th century Arabic translation proved to be the base text for all the future translations within the region of Middle East and Europe into Semitic and Indo-European languages. Although the original translation has been lost, but it had been translated into Persian by Rudaki in 940 AD. Gradually, various stories from this encompasses a wide range of themes that have been found everywhere in the world, sometimes with local and linguistic variations. The Panchatantra stories have been retold in different forms and have been translated into more than 200 languages other than the Indian subcontinent. As for Panchatantra, the Middle East, the Kalilava Dimna stories become a part of Arabic, Iranian, and Turkish folktales for a long time. Central Asia served as a cultural nexus linking Persia, India, and China, which were absorbed by their translated forms. The Persian and Arabic translations entered Sordigan, Uyghur, and later Turkic literary environments. The themes and plot structures of the Panchatantra were incorporated into the cultural and ethical texture of Central Asian cultures. Panchatantra's various translations were presented in manuscripts, indicating the significance of translation in Central Asia. The Panchatantra made its journey from India to Europe just like any other knowledge book via Central and West Asia. We have to note that this region forms the spice road of Arab traders, and through this route, the circulation of the text continued. And also, they were shown in pictorial forms, and the stories were available in abundance, and all the translation journey also changed into its pictorial sequence. A closer examination reveals that Panchatantra was spread through the medieval trade route, and the translation in Central Asia and South Asia have not been accurately studied. And much of the research work in this area is continuing. Panchatantra has influenced various cultures in Central Asia, and as I discussed, that it was in paintings, sculptural art, in Persian and Arabic miniatures, wall paintings, vases adorned with Panchatantra, and the tales of different versions of Kalila Vadimna are common. A leaf from the Arabic rendition of the Kalila Vadimna depicts the king of the crows in consultation with his political advisors. Many stories, like the hare fools elephant by showing the moon's reflection. It's in Arabic, the turtle and the monkey in Persian, and they were also found in Panjikand between 7th and 8th century, and many Sojian artists have adorned the walls of the homes with Panchatantras and tales and Aesop's fables. In Kalilavadimna, a translation and the reconstruction of Panchatantra has been continued, and the stories of anthropomorphized animals that contain significant morals for a king. There are 15 primary stories serving as frame stories, and many other stories within them. The two jackals, Kalila and Dimna, according to this Arabic version, also appear as storytellers of the tales and the protagonists of the tales, and they are employed in the king's court. It is in the next section, I'll discuss about Panchatantra and the Central Asian narrative tradition. The Panchatantra, or the five treatises, as an anthology of animal-centered stories, it interweaves human beings and animals exhibiting standard animal story stereotypes. And according to the introduction of the text, it illustrates that for the benefit of the ignorant princes, the central Hindu principle of niti, that is the wise conduct of life, and it's a mixture of words and prose, and the five parts that compose Panchatantra. In Sanskrit, it means the five principles, that is Mitra Bheda and Kakulyam, and then Labdha Prashanam, and Aparikshat Karalam, and then we have this Sanskrit Karataka and Damnaka stories. Reconstructing it from a linguistic perspective, the Pahlavi version, now this is the original Sanskrit version, then we move towards the Pahlavi version. Apart from these five chapters, five new chapters which contain other Indian tales were added. Some of these new chapters are taken from the 12th book of the Mahabharata, while two other chapters talk of Borju's trip. So we can see that it has also been adapted and reconstructed and transformed in its this process of moving to this trade route, through the silk trade route, and through translations. One major influence was the use of anthropomorphic animal characters to impart moral and political lessons. This is at the base of this Panchatantra tales, and this base has remained intact. The characters like the lion, jackal, the crow, they're the common figures in the Panchatantra, were integrated into Central Asian folklore. And the symbol, the learning aspect, the wisdom aspect, that is deceit, power, loyalty, these things have been incorporated. The use of animals as symbolic figures resonated with Central Asian nomadic cultures, where animals were central to daily life, myths, and cosmology. The teaching aspect of this Panchatantra also affected Central Asian education in madrasas and literary circles. Translated versions of this Kallava Dimna served as instructional texts for statecraft, ethics, rhetoric, and that is why they have been a sort of perennial influence on Central Asian culture. And they combined the enjoyment with moral lessons, ensuring they were preserved and adjusted across cultural settings. The influence of, in the next section, I'll discuss about the influence on Persian and Turkic literature in Central Asia. Though the Persian literary tradition welcomed the Panchatantra through this Kallava Dimna, but Persian prose writers and poets employed the moral narratives of these fables as a device for literary and political discussion. Nazrullah Munshi's 12th century Persian version of Kallava Dimna became especially very important, blending complex Persian prose with wisdom of the original Sanskrit narratives. Now, when a different linguistic variation and language and this ethics and the ethos of a different culture and people, it is adapted with our Panchatantra stories, then the blending becomes more complex. And in Turkish culture, in particularly the Karakhanids and the Timurids, the motifs of the Panchatantra have survived. A distinguished Shaktai poet poet and politician incorporated the moral allegories like those in the Panchatantra into his writings. These stories prompted reworkings in the Chagtai Turkic literature, which animal characters become a favorite means of political satire and moral instructions. In addition, during the 14th and 15th century, Central Asian retailers worked these stories as oral narratives and folk tales within Uzbek, Uyghur, and Kazakh folklores. They reflect structural and thematic features of the Panchatantra, demonstrating how deeply its moral and narrative that frame strategic story has continued and imprinted on indigenous storytelling. Another crucial aspect is with its integration with Sufi literature. Sufi mystics and poets frequently employed the allegorical tales to teach spiritual truths, and animal fables of the Panchatantra provided an analogy for such a narrative. The stories emphasize the interplay among wisdom, foolishness, morality, and the patterns, well suited to Sufi pedagogy. Jalaluddin Rumi, one of the most famous and most oft quoted writer, poet, writing mainly in the Persian, was a powerful influence in Central Asia. Rumi employed parables and fables that are reminiscent of the narratives mode of the Panchatantra. Likewise, Akhtar Mantik's this Conference of the Birds, based on Islamic mysticism, also employs animal characters as symbols. So the animal characters, the frame story, the linguistic variations of Sanskrit and Prakrit, apart from this transition, have re-emerged in Central Asia in different modes. So Sufi storytelling through their visual paintings, and also in the written linguistic tradition as cultural social texts, and also as textbooks. The legacy of the Panchatantra in Central Asia remains strong in several ways. Its influence on Persian prose, especially the linguistic variant, is very rich, and it set the benchmarks for narrative artistry and elegance in writing. Its moral tales become staples in Islamic educational institutions across the region. Its narrative technique shaped storytelling tradition in the Turkic and Persian literature, embedding the use of frame narrative and animal characters are, as long-lasting literary tools. Even today, elements of the Panchatantra persist in modern Central Asian literature, and contemporary writers are also influenced from Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, continue to employ animal allegories and moral tales that trace back these ancient stories. The integration of Panchatantra has existed in Indian tradition, and similarly, the integration of Panchatantra in the Central Asian tradition has also continued, and that is why the popularity, the influence, the wisdom, the nitis inherent in these texts have remained perennial. And in the conclusion, I would like to and that the journey of the Panchatantra into Central Asia highlights the lasting power of storytelling across cultures. Its instructive tales, passed down through Persian Arabic translations became an integral part of Central Asian literary traditions by influencing narrative styles, shaping Persian and Turkic literature, and enhancing Sufi allegorical tradition. The Panchatantra played a vital role in performing the cultural and intellectual heritage of Central Asia. As both a literary and moral text, the Panchatantra illustrates how knowledge and wisdom can cross boundaries, can be adapted in a sort of hybrid cross cultural text, evolving yet retaining the fundamental purpose to teach, entertain, and guide. Its profound impact on Central Asian literature emphasizes the shared cultural heritage of India and Central Asia, connected through centuries of storytelling and intellectual exchange. Thank you, sir. I have
Thank you, ma'am. Over to Dr. Yogesh.
the
Thank you so much.
end of my paper.
Sure.
I think I was on time, and
Sure. Thanks, Dr. Rita Mishra, for this comprehensive presentation on the journey of Panchtantra to the plains of Central Asia, and then to Europe. Now, I would like to invite our next speaker, next presenter, Mr. Vipul Kumar Gautam, Government College, Una, Himachal Pradesh, and the title of his paper is Education as a Central Bridge, Indian Student Mobility to Central Asia.
So kindly allow me to share this slide. I'm not able to share it as of now.
Vipulji done. You are co-host now. And if there is any other presenter, everyone, we request you to immediately post it in the chat box, because if it is the last presentation, we'll be concluding the session. Thank you so much, Vipulji. You can go ahead.
So again, not able to maximize it as the option. Slideshow. Okay, got it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And yeah.
So
Thank you.
I'm audible, right, sir? And these
Yes, sir. All
slides are
good.
also visible, right? Thank you. Thank you, Madam Sir. Okay, this is Vipul presenting on behalf of my co-authors and colleagues. So the topic is education as a cultural bridge, Indian students' mobility to Central Asian countries. So I'll start with the introduction. Okay, we have seen like students have been going to like European countries, Americas to study various courses, and particularly the medical courses. Students have been going to Ukraine and Russia, Serbia, and the nearby countries. But due to Ukraine and Russia war, they have been uh, unsettlement. So some many of the students, and also due to it is being very costly in European and American countries. So many of these students, particularly the medical students, have started to switching to the Central Asian countries. This is also due to shortage of seats, and in private colleges in India, we have very large amount of very much fee costs we have. So that could be also the reason of this migration to Central Asian countries. One of the factors that also work is India's policy of Connect Central Asia, which India started in 2012. And these are also like the Central Asian countries have been traditionally the India has cultural linkage with these countries also, because due to this Silk Road route, because these Central Asian countries had direct connection with the India through this route, all of these countries. But now, due to many political and other issues, there are differences in terms of how many students go to study to these countries. So India is one of the largest outbound sources to these countries for education, who go for education. As we know, all of us know that there are five, mostly these countries located in Central Asia. Among these five, Kazakhstan is the largest country, as we'll see in the next slide. This shift in there was a shift from Indian student going to the developed countries like European countries, Australia and Americas. Many students have been now switching to other countries, underdeveloping or developing countries also. This phenomenon has been called as South to South uh, mobility, and there was like South to North mobility, which was like from underdeveloped countries or developing countries, the students were going to the developed countries. So it's just opposite to that. So if we theoretically see this phenomenon of mobility of the students uh, could be best explained by a few theories, like which has been used in as a perspective in this study, since it is not a very empirical study, since not collected any primary data for this. I've used secondary data. So just for the reference point of view, we have used like push and pull factors, push and pull theory. Now we can see the recent map, like Kazakhstan, one of the largest countries, and this is also one of the largest countries of the world. Like it ranks ninth in the world, and it is the world's largest landlocked country. And we could also see other countries along with the Kazakhstan. So we have Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan, and we can even see India below these countries, like below Pakistan. So this is just for reference. So there are a lot of factors, some facts about these countries and India. So these five countries got independence from the dissolution of USSR in 1991. So mostly all of these countries have their local state languages, but mostly this reason is predominantly, if we see as a common language, the Russia is the common language, and Russia is most frequently used in these countries. So even we have like if someone is doing MBBS, so he has to even study Russian language in first year of their course. So this was, as already told, was this reason was connected with India through this historical Silk Road route. And if we see like these are not so very developed countries, but some like Tajikistan, yes, Kazakhstan is quite a bit more developed compared to other countries, but mostly they are like developing countries, and few might be considered even kind of underdeveloped. So education system, these countries have educational public and private institution systems as well. Some of the institutions are quite good, but some are like average and similar to what we have education institutions like in India. Okay, moving to the next slide. The most important this study or this paper discusses is about the why people or these students are going to these Central Asian countries, and what significance or what implications they actually this migration or mobility creates. What are the repercussions of this mobility? So the theoretical framework I was talking about, it's like a push and pull model that was in education or in migration, education mobility. It has been like that base has been adopted by Tim and Georgie in 2002, their study. But normally this theory has roots origin, which is basically in migration studies. That is by Everest Lee. His work of like theory of migration, which was published in 1966. Then second, that theoretical framework, which could be used to explain why students are going, how students are going, it's south to south mobility. That was originally conceptualized in Brand report in 1980. And another concept or theory that is important to use in this perspective is peripheral mobility, which was used in education by the two authors mainly that has been given. Originally, it is based on the world system theory that was originally developed by Williamston in 1970s. Education also has repercussion in terms of soft power. The people of one country go to other country, which create like a cultural and people to people linkages, which gives indirectly soft power to the country from where the students actually go. Symbolic interaction is this theory could be used to explain the uh, cultural daily life culture of these students who go over there and spend their time. They talk to the locals, they celebrate festivals and all this daily interaction. This has demonstration effect among the people of the local, among the local countries people. This theory was only originally like it was given by Blummer, and it which already has like in terms of everyday life, it was the representation of self in everyday life by Goffman. So these two perspectives can be used. So like push and pull factor could be talked in terms of like in India we have push factor, which the factors or the variables we can say which actually force students to go to abroad to study. Abroad means not just these countries, but any country generally over here. So intense competition, we have a need, for example, particularly these students go for need for medical studies. So we have very limited seats and it is very competitive exam, very competitive course in India. So this is one of the reasons. We have very low number of seats in public medical colleges, government colleges. And in private colleges, we have very high cost of this course. So family seat normally even to the students generally want to go to the foreign countries to study these courses. Then there are a lot of pull factors which actually pull the students to or attract the students to go over there. So affordable tuition and living cost. Living cost is kind of you can compare to to India even, and but tuition is quite low compared to India if you compare to the private colleges. Medium is English. Most of the countries these have like their academics, their syllabus in English. But for interaction with the person, with the local, it is compulsory for for students to learn the Russian language. So another factor that is geographic location. It is quite close to the country, to India. It is not too far away, so it may result in even lower fare prices. Uh, these if we pursue courses in these colleges, it is well recognized in India. But again, they have to pass the exam. FMC is some exam they have to pass, which is if we do in any country, they have to do, including Ukraine or Russia. So since the strengths have been the migration mobility to these regions have been growing, there has been support system has also been developed. So tuition fee, it is a general like rough idea. It is not exact that I'm showing like Kazakhstan 4 to 5, since it is a bit more developed compared to other countries. Sorry. Then Kyrgyzstan and other countries, it is almost similar. And living cost is also kind of 40 to 45,000, including living cost. So this like data for living standard has been taken from Nimbio website, nimbio.com, and official prospectus and news website have taken about the tuition fees over there. So data normally I have taken from UNESCO Statistical Institute. But there are differences in data when we see the Ministry of External Affairs of India data and also the UNESCO student data. There are a lot of differences. Even if we see the Ministry of External Affairs data, they itself have a lot of differences that maybe I have included somewhere in the study. So this data that I will show in the next table, it is basically the UNESCO Statistics Institute data and Government of India uh, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India replied it in the Rajya Sabha reply in 2025. So even if we see 2025 reply and 2024 reply, there are a lot of differences in the number of students who go over there to study. So other documents and studies have also been some even videos have been used from YouTube to see how people over there actually live and study. So this is actually the trend of the data. It is actually a table of the data which shows how many students actually go. So you could see some of the data, uh, particularly from 2019 onwards, it has been used with asterisk, which denotes that it is the data from the Ministry of External Affairs, and the other data which had not been marked, it is from the UNESCO statistical institutes. So we can see one major event that happened and had a lot of influence is in the mobility of students from India to Central Asian countries. It's a government policy of Connect Central India, which was government of India adopted in 2012. Since 2012, you can see there's a lot of like upsurge in number of students, since the policy doesn't just affect at the same time, it takes a bit time. So you can see even in a very short span of time, there's a boom of number of students who go over there. Another event which has impacted a lot is Ukraine-Russia war, as I was referring earlier also. I have also mentioned the data of Ukraine from 2019 onwards. So you can see the decline of number of students who go to study to Ukraine, since Ukraine was one of the major markets where students in India used to go to study medical courses. So this is the data. I have shown it graphically here, so we can see the fluctuations and trend of the data. Also, we can see just I could not note it that Turkmenistan, these country also another factor that is among these countries is like some of these are very peaceful countries and very democratic countries, but a few countries like particularly I have been reading about this since I'm not actually gone there, but since I have read about, and this Turkmenistan I have studied, like this is very kind of autocratic and has a lot of restriction. It is very closed country, so it has very few number of students going over there. Other countries which are a bit liberal, particularly, for example, if we see Kyrgyzstan, which is comparatively very small compared to Kazakhstan, since it is quite democratic, as I have seen in news website. So this has a lot of like if we see at in 2024, it is one of the largest or the largest is country that attracts students from India. So going forward to the next slide. One moment, I think it is hand. Okay, so this is the graph already explained. So as already depicted in the table and graph, Kyrgyzstan, fastest growing and largest hub in Central Asia for Indians to go. Kazakhstan, steadily growing. It is also growing, particularly after the Connect Central Asia policy of the country. And Uzbekistan has also been growing. Uzbekistan also has very good cultural ties due to it being a very large and predominant cultural hub in during route mobility. So Tajikistan and Turkmenistan have comparatively a smaller number of students attracting over there, particularly Turkmenistan. Okay, here is a bit like pull and push factors that have been summed over here. Like Kyrgyzstan, low peace, low standard of living cost. English medium courses, English medium course is available. Recruitment, it has very good like linkages in India for for admission process. Lot of companies of Ukraine, sorry, Kyrgyzstan and India work together to attract these students. And these are like Kazakhstan, moderate tuition fees, but is a bit higher than Kyrgyzstan. So that's why it has attracts the largest number of students from India. Uzbekistan affordable tuition fees again. They had reform in 2016, introducing English language as a medium of instruction and study for MBBS courses. So these are some of the factors as we can see. About Turkmenistan, they have quite a close country as at the moment. Now, coming back to like cultural impacts of the mobility, we see a lot of festivals, a lot of Indian grocery stores, Indian in terms of these stores having Indian items and Indian uh, groceries. Everyday adoption in local, in everyday language, people over there go over there, they learn local language, and they particularly they have to particularly learn Russian language. This daily interaction of the people of India and other countries, this is a very powerful tool in connecting the two countries, and it acts as a informal diplomacy for the both of the countries. So this is like we have a picture of, for example, Holi celebration in Kyrgyzstan. This is one of the, like, we can see the YouTube video. I have taken like snap from the YouTube video that is store in Kyrgyzstan. It is, as shown, is one of the largest in Kyrgyzstan. So we can, particularly around the universities, we can find a lot of Indian stuff. This is like I've seen. It is also a video link. The students are going to attend the uh, Russian language classes, which is mandatory for the students, medical students to learn. The challenges, the problems that still exist is, one is, of course, the language barrier, which is obviously, since we don't have Russian language over here, that is a reason, of course. Other reason is housing struggle, because if we go somewhere, it is an obvious thing. Even if we move in our own country, it is a problem always. But if you go to other countries, it is a bit more problem. Safety incidents and harassment cases. It is not just in these countries, but in almost all the countries, wherever if you go, if you're not the citizen of that country, you would face quite some time like safety and harassment issues. I had seen like some students even had died. I've seen the report. It is not a large number, but almost in all of these countries, I've seen like uh, one or two death per year that has occurred, and the reasons have actually not been shown over there. Ukraine bar has disrupted the flow. So this is not actually the challenge, but this challenge could be in terms of like now most of the students want to go to the Central ASEAN countries. So this could even be more, even this could bring a lot of competition and rise in prices of the cost of courses. So cultural bridge is not automatic. This could be connected to the safety and harassment incidents, because culture, it just not directly happens. Nobody wants to or wishes to adopt it just automatically or willingly. But then after some time or slowly it happens actually. So that is what policy, what could be done to strengthen this uh, is one, grievances system is not there. Grievances and welfare system, every country has Indian embassy, that's it. There's no common support system for students for whichever country they go from India. So there's nothing like that, that they have separate organization which facilitates or helps in mobility or solving their issues, problems. Orientation and language support is needed in the host country, in India, for example, not up to going over there. Intercultural campus programs, all the universities shall allow and even maybe mandate some program to be held at least annually once. So this will also create some like people will become tolerant, more tolerant to that. Improve data in governance, like I had told, there's discrepancy of data in wherever you see. Somewhere you will find this many students go, somewhere you find this many students go. So this is another issue. If there will be a particular organization which could be even given the responsibility of maintaining a very high standard level of data, and we could not see maybe due to that lot of discrepancy. So closer India central cooperation, academic cooperation, this organization or the governments could even work out to do. In conclusion, the mobility is mainly predominantly is uh, shaped by, if we particularly talk in terms of India and Central Asia, it is due to majorly push and pull factors. Push and pull theory explains it. The strand build a lot of cultural interactions beyond their academics. Obviously, if somebody lives over there, for example, for term of more than 5 years, there are a lot of cultural uh, absorption, and even they spread the culture. Mix of practical needs and cultural consequences. Bridges are valuable but fragile. Culture is always fragile. We everybody loves their own culture, and that's why most of the people don't adopt it, but it is very valuable. Calls for policy support and better data already discussed. And future uh, agenda could be, apart from macro, this data, there could be personal experiences of in incident wise experiences, or the ground data that could be maintained and collected by the countries and by the researcher in future. That's it. I'd like to thank every one of you for listening it carefully and passionately. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you very
thank you.
much.
Thank you, Vipulji. Over to Yogesh and Mr. Alisher. We would like to request one thing. We have given a final call, so there's no other presenter uh, as we feel. So if there is still someone, we request anyone to immediately interrupt this announcement. And if there is no one, we request first Mr. Alisher and then the session chair, Dr. Yogesh, to kindly conclude. And Vipulji, thank you so much. Extensive presentation, but quite interesting. Being here in Uzbekistan, Mr. Alisher will also agree to it, because we see students everywhere, and medical tourism has changed into an academic tourism that way. So it's changing the paradigms for Uzbekistan and Indian relationship as well. Over to Mr. Alisher, please.
Yeah, thank you very
Thank you,
much,
sir.
Mr. Moderator. Actually, in order to save the time, I already sent my questions to all previous speakers to Mr. Through chat system. If you check the chat, I
That's
sent the
interesting.
questions to Dolly Hirani, to Zarita Mishra, and to
They,
Gautam. If they will be just check the chat system, the question been sent. I do appreciate
Sure.
very much for your kind reply for our questions in order to have the objective and whole picture of cultural exchange in the field of cinema industries, in the field of literature, and in the field of higher education. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward
Thank
to
you.
hear the replies.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Nice. Thank you so much. So the replies can be shared with Mr. Alisher, and we invite Dr. Yogesh, session chair, to kindly give concluding remarks so that we can close our day one technical session 3.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Parveen. Well, we had 3 presentations in the evening session. We began with Dr. Dolly Hirani's paper, Bollywood Beyond Borders, Explorations of Hindi Cinema's Impact on Central Asian Society. And Dr. Hirani talked about Raj Kapoor and Shah Rukh Khan, and so many things were discussed. And basically, as I could understand, it was from a sociological perspective. One interesting title was Memory and Nostalgia. Now, nostalgia, as you can sense, at times it can interrupt with memory. Nostalgia and memory, these two things, these two terms, they have some kind of a, nostalgia can interrupt in the making of your memory, or it can somehow play a role in transforming your memory. But if it is in a good way, so we can welcome this thing. By and large, it was a comprehensive presentation. And the second paper was presented by Dr. Rita Mishra. The title was The Influence of Panchtantra in Shaping the Literary Tradition of Central Asia. She talked about Silk Route. She talked about the Huns and the Mongols and the spread of Buddhism, and the journey of Panchtantra to West via the Central Asian landscape. And of course, she opened up a new field of debate and discussion when she talked about role of translation. So many of Indian writings have been translated, particularly in the medieval period, and a lot has been talked about, and a lot can be done in this field. And finally, we had the paper presented by Dr. Vipul Kumar Gautam about education as a cultural bridge, and his theory of push-pull model. And then he talked about the Connect Central Asia policy of the Indian government. Of course, he backed it up with a great amount of data. So all in all, I would congratulate all the three presenters. And before I conclude, I must congratulate the organizers for this wonderful session, for this wonderful day. And I wish the organizers all the best for the day ahead. And I must also thank my close friend and a very wonderful human being, Dr. Parveen, for inviting me and giving the opportunity to chair the session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Should
Dr. Yogesh.
should we expect the answers to my questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think for sure. I mean, I'm curious about the questions because the questions must be quite insightful.
I could reiterate again. I mean, just for the public, because I sent privately the questions to Dr. Dolly Hirani. I asked. She very comprehensively described impact of Bollywood to Central Asia. But we're talking about the two-side road. That what about the impact of Central Asian film industries? Did she had any studies? Because to my knowledge, the Central Asian, I sent her some book in 100 pages already through chat. I don't know. Did she?
Yes. We shared it with everyone. We have sent it to Telegram and WhatsApp as well.
Yes. So I sent already to Mr. Manish Kumar Mishra and to send to the Dolly Hirani through the chat the book on the studies which been done on Central Asian film industries in current status. Have you seen? I sent you already.
I didn't see any movie of Central Asia, but yeah, I am quite interested.
Did you see my in chat book which I sent you through chat? I sent you the book. I attached the book as well, 100 pages. So it is on film industry in Central Asia. It would be very nice if your studies will complement.
I will.
Studies on, of course, the size and scope is different from Bollywood. It's a different one, but Central Asian film industry has its own, how can I say, to my knowledge, the Bollywood been inspired some stories from Central Asia. They've been inspired by some settings, by some epics from Central Asia as well. So it would be nice to study how this was mutual influence of the cinema arts, because currently we just seen only one side of the coin, but we need both sides.
Yeah, sure. I request to the organizers to organize the next meeting or conference on this type of topics that we can give our inputs in it and to understand the next type, the paper. I will try to give you the comparative studies of this cinemas.
Thank you. And also
thank you so much, sir.
Dr. Rita Mishra, I asked the questions because he very frequently mentioned about the role of Sufi brotherhood, particularly Rumi. But to my knowledge, one of the strongest Sufi school in India was Suhrawardia, because the Suhrawardia adopted Indian culture, and it was well accepted on Indian ground. But she didn't mention about this influence on impact, or to what extent it still exists Suhrawardia Sufi schools in India, because rather than Mavlaniya or Naqshbandiya or Kubraviya or Qadriya, the Suhrawardiya been much stronger in northern part of India particularly. And to what extent it still exists, this school, and to what extent this order is, is operating in India. If you have any ideas or maybe some studies on that, it would be nice to hear. Dr. Rita Mishra, are you hearing me?
Actually, Sufi mysticism. Am I audible? Yes, sir.
I sent my question by chat as well, just
Sir?
to save the time.
Can you hear me? Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Sir, actually, in India, concept of Sufism, it has also, in a way, been changing and adapting according to, Indian ethos, so as to say, the people over here. And it is also a cross-cultural phenomena, so as to say, phenomena. And this Sufism, actually, I have not gone, it is only one part of my paper. And I just touched upon it, but I could see that there is a lot of potential of research related to Sufism. And presently, whether it is in cinema, whether it is literature, a lot of research work is being continued in this area. And the seminar that has been, this conference has been organized. This gives another impetus to this cross-cultural dialogue between cultures. And I think Sufi, this knowledge system is not so, has not been so popular in India. And many studies are still, in case of literature and cross-cultural context, it has a potential of research, I think. And and mostly, through this Sufi sayings, and people, texts are also not available in very rural and local areas. Suppose I live at Mirzapur, and here I won't find any Sufi text, so as to say. I download it through this internet, or we go to this metropole cities. So it is confined. I think it does not have so much. It has not been researched yet at such a vast level, that I want to say. Because at local level, or at in India is a vast country, and at every level you are not able to find Sufi text and writers, and it's also not included in the curriculum. That is also a fact. To reach people, you have to include it at the textbook level. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And Mr.
Thank
Vipul
you.
Kumar Bhutam,
Vipulji.
Yes,
have
sir.
you seen
Yes,
my
sir.
questions?
Yes, sir, I've seen before some time. So about there are two questions you have posted. One is the process of recognition. So all the students who pass from these countries or even other country, MBBS courses or medical courses, they'll have to pass here in India. They have to appear in an exam, that is foreign medical services exam, something like this. They have to pass this exam to for their degree to be recognized, for MBBS degree to be recognized in India. Otherwise, they won't be allowed to practice medicine or doctor being doctor in India. So they have to pass this exam. This exam is held annually. Another question that you're having, like enrollment of, for example, in India, these countries students from Central Asia. So India has like Indian Cultural Council. There's Indian Cultural Council relation. We have a council which actually gives scholarship to the students who come from Central Asian countries particularly, and even other countries also. So two countries that I could just have a bit of data of, not actually the time series data, but I have some current data. It is like Kyrgyzstan. One is Kyrgyzstan and second is Uzbekistan. So we have quite a large number of students studying in India. So from Kyrgyzstan, I could say about 15,000 students who are enrolled currently, about 15,000 in India. And from Uzbekistan, it is about 5,000 students who are enrolled in India. From other countries, I could not have at the moment. I have not studied. Just since you asked the question, I honestly saying I browsed
But
and I
which
could find.
but which specialty mostly enrollment?
So
Because you just mentioned
yes, mostly the students come to study engineering and other courses like, so medical courses don't actually come, but most preferably they come for engineering courses in India. Yes, sir.
the reason I question,
Yes.
I ask question because UNESCO something 10 years ago adopted some
Yes.
convention
Yes, sir.
on recognition of qualification, not diplomas, because
Yes.
recognition of diplomas it's already passed away. So now we're talking about recognition of qualification, which means which very complicated process. Therefore, the question being to what extent the graduates from India who will return to India will be qualified. What's the system of, because it's very complex system. It's not based on the just
Yes.
existence of diploma.
Yes.
They have to pass not maybe one exam, maybe several exams, and it is very complex. That's why my question being to what extent
Right, sir.
they've been accepted.
There's no specific exam for this reason for the students who study from India and go over there and study. So that is common for even if somebody studies in Russia or Ukraine or Serbia, anywhere. Any medical student who go over there and study, they'll have to come back and they'll have to pass the exam. It is only for medical course, MBBS degree. For any other degree, it is valid. There's no issue. They don't need to pass an exam. So only for medical degree, they'll have to pass an exam from any country. Excluding, there are some countries which are excluded like UK and USA, and even I think Australia.
But all your statistics just covering public education. Am I right? You are not covering in your studies private education. I mean, enrollment in the private institutions.
No, it is combined of both public and private.
What about a joint venture? Because there are many already increasing number of joint Central Asian Indian private universities, like Amity University in Tashkent. I know there are several Indian private universities. They're opening their branches.
Yes.
In territory of Central Asia. To what extent these private education institutions are under your statistics?
So I don't have separately for those institutes, sir, at the moment. And also it is quite hard, as I was telling, there is a discrepancy of data, existing data. So there's no separate data for this, but we can calculate these data from these universities' website if we work a bit. So we can certainly fetch the data from these universities' website, enrollment of these students from one country to another country. So they'll have to see that. But this is one of the reasons, since the mobility has been increasing from India to Central Asia and vice versa. Some universities have been established over there, and even some universities might be planning to come to India from this reason.
In India, in the public education, we're also following Bologna process, right?
Which process?
Bologna process.
Bologna?
Yes, Bologna Convention.
I'm sorry,
it's a reforms of higher education worldwide.
Okay, I have
Bologna
no idea
process
about this.
It is for mobility of students. When we can study 1 year in one country, second year in another country, third year in the third country. It's mobility. It's a Bologna process.
Right. That is.
It's like application of the credit system. The credit
that
system.
Is a very good. Yes, very good initiative. Right.
But you're following this Bologna process, no?
There are some universities which are following it. I have seen there's like private university. We don't have this system in public universities as of now. But this process I have seen some of my friends children they are studying. So this is mainly this course in MBBS, sorry, not MBBS, MBA courses I have seen. One semester you study here, in one semester you study in Singapore, and one study, for example, one semester you study in Kazakhstan. I have seen this in MBA courses, Master of Business Administration course.
Or maybe
In other
double
courses-
degree, double
Yes,
degree
yes.
fellow. You know, double
Yes,
degree
yes,
one
sir.
means some part you're studying in India, some
Right,
part
sir,
time
right.
you're studying in
Understand.
other country.
Got it, sir. Got it, sir. Yes, sir. So I have seen
Okay.
in MBA course this only. This what are you saying? Yes, sir.
Thank
thank
you.
you very
Thank
much.
you, Mr. Alisher.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank
you. And now, taking less time to conclude so that our session chair is also free on time, and all presenters, thank you so much, Mr. Alisher, for you as well. So we'll meet again tomorrow at 10 a.m. for technical session day 2. Session 1. Thank you so much to the presenters, organizing team led by Manish ji, Alisher ji, our dear Sherdor from Tashkent, Alfraganus, and Dr. Yogesh. Thank you so much for sparing time, and we really appreciate your contribution and presence. Thank you, everyone.